Thank you very much, President. Let me begin too by congratulating our rapporteur for the work he's done and describing the requirements that European industry has for raw materials, and also stressing the environmental and social risks and the importance of recycling. Those are key elements in his report. But we need to look at the Commission proposal too, and I can't agree at all with the model that they're putting forward as far as their so-called raw materials diplomacy is concerned. They got the idea of setting up G8 or G20 level bodies dealing with these will simply lead to another split in the world between the industrialized countries that require raw materials and require them quite legitimately, and the poor countries who are raw materials rich but aren't able sometimes to have access to them for themselves. European industry has forces which want to guarantee access to these raw materials by any means necessary, and that's something which Europe should have learnt from its past. That kind of thing doesn't lead to a successful situation at all. So this kind of diplomacy is something that I don't agree with at all. It'll end up as just diplomatic blackmail. These countries should be allowed to be masters of the raw materials that they have. Let's have a more innovatory policy, and I think the EEAS could be very important as far as that kind of diplomacy is concerned. Thank you, President. It's certainly not my intention to follow neo-colonialist policies in Africa. I come from a country which was the first to apologise to Africa for the mistakes which we'd made during the colonial period, and I don't believe that Europe should have any kind of colonial policy in that part of the world. And as far as raw materials are concerned, I want to involve and have high levels of participation from African countries. All of this was dealt with when we talked to the African Union, and many African Union countries wish to work with us on this point. Africa shouldn't be considered as a potential victim for a new type of colonialism here, and that's not what Europe is trying to do. We're not being neo-colonialists.